What's up, guys? Welcome to Chasing Projects. I'm Jeff, and this is your SoCal fishing forecast for Thursday, August 29th. Big Labor Day weekend coming up here. It's going to be lots of boats in the water, so make sure you have a little bit more patience over the next few days. Fishing has been pretty good. Not good for everything, but it's been pretty good. So, good chance there's going to be a lot of people out there, especially at the islands. So, be on your best behavior, y'all. Currently looking here over the next week or so, you see we still have our marine layer here in the morning. This is slowly going to fade off. Continuous warm weather here as this high moves through, 78, 83, nice good temps here, liking all that. The wind, let's see what happens with the wind. It looks all right as of now. The weatherman has been incredibly off. The marine forecast has not matched the wind model. The wind model has not matched the marine forecast. One day it looks like it's going to blow super hard and a straight west wind with a wind swell, and then it doesn't, and it ends up being a super glassy day. So all I can say is check the wind the night before and same with your marine forecast, and hopefully they line up, or if not, just give it a shot, drive west until you feel uncomfortable, and then don't go any further. But that's kind of been the pattern the last 2 weeks or so, more or less. But see, we got that 17, 18 knot out there. We're just going to drive some wind swell. Right now, it's not showing a lot out here as far as swell comes, and it's really that northwest angle should be pushing it further south. So we'll see how it all lines up. But as of right now, marine forecast is showing 3 to 4 foot west, 3 feet at 5 seconds, 2 feet long period south at 14 seconds. So pretty consistent throughout the rest of the week. We'll see if that plays out. Again, always check your latest marine forecast before heading on the water. You never know how these things are going to go. Sometimes they change quickly. So let's talk about fishing. I was able to get out on the water last Sunday, and I'll give you a quick rundown of what I saw. My game plan was to go fish bluefin here at the 499. There had been pretty good sign up until the day before I was going to run out there. Still some sign, but it was kind of a late in the afternoon sign, so I was hoping to maybe find them earlier than that and score. I had strict orders to have the kids in bed, so I couldn't hang out here until sunset, unfortunately, and I don't have radar on the boat yet, so I didn't really want to run anything yet in the boat in the dark. Still got plenty of time for that. But anyways, I left Dana Point early. Nice scoop of mackerel and a little bit of sardine, which is great because I planned on sabbiking some mackerel anyway. So I was glad to save some extra time for doing that. And I always say stick with the game plan. Literally got to the edge of the shelf here, right about the 2.5 mile mark, and plenty of life. Saw birds, saw bait, saw a dolphin, saw tuna on dolphin, and as much as I thought about trying to catch what I assume would be yellowfin, I wanted to stick to my game plan. It was still pretty dark too, so I marked it. It was like almost right in front of Salt Creek, pretty close, and decided that I might check it on the way back in if I give myself some time. So that was my plan, and headed out, came around Avalon. I knew that there's been some really great marlin fishing this year, and front side of Catalina, at the east end of the island, at the west end of the island, out to the Avalon bank. This whole area has been on fire for marlin fishing this year. From my understanding, I really haven't seen it this good since the 90s, when it was kind of a big deal. So this is long before the bluefin, but this used to be the hot ticket in town for private boaters. And still is a good fishery, just not really highly sought after, just more for the guys that are looking for something really hard to catch next to a swordfish. So anyways, I came through here, only saw a couple of boats trolling. My plan was not to troll for marlin all day. I wanted to go after these bluefin at the 499. Got to the 499, found quite a few other people who were also on the same mission as myself, and we're looking around for bluefin. I always keep my radio on, just kind of listen, see what people are saying, or if they're giving up signs for what they've seen on the water, just to kind of give myself a direction to go into. I don't like to chase radio fish. I rather chase conditions than radio fish, so I just my own game plan. Um, I got to the 499. A couple of boats are talking around me. I could identify that they were out here. They said that they were. Um, and we all actually, as a group, started going west because we didn't see any sign of fish. Didn't see any bait, didn't see birds, nothing around the 499 area. So I threw out spreader bar, a couple of bullet lures, and started heading towards the snail, which is right about here. And when I'm trolling, like the thing that the reason why I don't put the kite is like I like to cover a lot of ground if I'm not seeing the signs. By all means, if I'm seeing fish on top, yeah, let's throw out the kite. But if I'm not seeing what I'm looking for, it's much easier for me to pull into spreader bar real quick and a couple of lures and move on to the next spot than try and handle a kite with a balloon and do all that. So it's just much easier to get around, especially if you're not seeing the signs. So I started heading towards the snail. Spent a lot of time glassing. The weatherman was indeed wrong. There was some leftover wind swell, but overall it's pretty glassy. Great day for glassing in the bino. So if you're gonna spend the time looking around, you might as well drag some lures. So that's what I did. I got to the edge of this, and I should have screenshotted this chart, and I kind of bummed myself out for not doing so. But I saw the 69-degree water here, and I thought I was at the edge of this temp break. And indeed, there's just a little pocket here that I missed, and that was my own mistake. Otherwise, I was going to keep going west to the 7-Eleven, but I saw this water get cold, and I didn't see any improving conditions, so I was not convinced to continue going west. Like I mentioned before, when I don't see fish in an area where I'm looking for them, they either go north or they go west. So I decided to go north and head up the escarpment towards the Osborne, which has been known to hold fish, especially bluefin. And you kind of see the area that I'm working here when I talk about the escarpment. I headed all the way up to the Osborne. Things did look better. No sign of game fish whatsoever. There was a couple guys up here with balloons out. Then they were just driving around, kind of just looking around too. They weren't really seeing anything. Spent some time up here glassing as well. And by about this time, I heard a couple guys, probably like 10:30, said they were seeing them and they were starting to hang fish. And I didn't see anybody hanging fish. So being at the already been to the 499, went towards the 7-Eleven, didn't see what I was looking for. Went to the Osborne. Didn't think that they were going to go past the Osborne. Just didn't quite make sense. Usually it's a pretty good stopping ground for bluefin, like I said, in past days or past years too. So the thing I could really think of was like, and maybe I'll check the other side of the basin here, the 125, the 172. Got here, things look way better, a lot more signs of life, a lot of boats driving around still, flying kites, dragging stuff, but no signs on the surface. Again, I trolled through this area with the spreader bar out again and a couple lures out, and someone said they already hung 10. And at this point, I was confused because, you know, I'm on both sides of the basin. Rarely do the fish go east. And turns out that they popped up here at the 270, right off Palos Verdes here. And I want to bring the chart back here, and you'll understand why I was confused by this. This is like 73 degree water on Sunday right here. Bluefin don't like 73 degree water, maybe even close to 74. So one, to see him go east, strange. Two, see him go east into 73, 74 degree water, extremely strange. There's a bunch of anchovy. They piled up on it. Some guys hung fish. Never really heard the location come out on the radio, but I knew I was not in the right place. Right up here on the west end. So I decided I was going to Cruise the front side of Kelly to see if I saw anything interesting, marlin wise, any birds or bait on front of the island. Again, like I mentioned, the wind was down, so things are pretty glassy, and I wanted to take a look here, see if I saw anything going. I did have some marlin lures just in case, and I still have those mackerel. So that was gonna be possible plan B if something looked interesting. But I left here about 2:30 with the intent to come back and kind of scope things out. Didn't see anything interesting at all on the front side in the afternoon. Right when I got to Long Point, someone said they saw, or they were catching yellowfin off Capo Beach, which is not not even a mile from that spot that I marked this morning. So I knew exactly where they were talking about and what they saw, and figured if they could get one going, maybe I could find them again. So I jetted across back to Dana Point and went right to my mark, and right at my mark was the same pile of dolphins. The dolphin whale watch boat was chasing them around. I dropped some lures in front of them and see if I saw them on the sonar. I did not meter any fish this time, so that was the big difference. They were definitely acting like they were chasing stuff, but I didn't see it. And there's a lot of them, so they're pretty spread out in different packs. So who knows? Like I said, radio fish, pretty wild, but I don't like to chase them. But it was nice to see on the water. As I mentioned before, really just wanted to get out of the house. I love my kids, but a nice little Sunday on the boat, pretty hard to turn down. So that was my day out to sneak out of the house. So lo and behold, but what's really going on is those fish popped up just north of me on this edge here. Not only was there some inside, but there was some outside on this stem break. And they've kind of been there the last couple weeks, or not the last couple weeks, the last few days. Still seeing them. And that's kind of the big fish show in town. The last couple of days of stuff, again, that came into this area, the 270, 286, red out PV, it did not last more than a day, maybe a day and a half, and they were gone. So they've moved on here. But what I wanted to show you was the chlorophyll chart. And you can obviously see that this is back to 68, 70 degree water right here on this little arch here that we have. Chlorophyll chart, we had some green water here on this edge, which is probably going to produce some bait as well. So that temp is matching with this green water. Then that also matches with this bottom detail of this basin. So I would expect whatever fish were in this area, they're going to hang out in this basin the next week or so. We've seen in years past where they kind of pile up here on the under edge of the Channel Islands. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that again. Usually they don't hang out in the middle of the basin. They're going to kind of find these edges here and work their way up. So over the next few days, maybe they make a move. They move a couple miles at a time, a lot easier to find when they move 25, 30 miles. So wasn't really expecting that on a Sunday, but it is what it is. You got to make the best of it. And yeah, all in all, great day. Let's talk about the rest of the fishing that we got going on here. Again, no real reports from Santa Barbara Island or San Nick. No one's really fishing these islands to my knowledge. I haven't heard of any reports of anybody fishing them. You probably got a chance of some yellows. There's some squid around at Santa Barbara Island. I don't know that you find that at Nick at the moment. Just there's been some good fish around if you can find them, but I think you got a chance at yellows here at Santa Barbara Island. Kellyna, again, that's always that onesie twosie fish when it comes to yellowtail. Slim pickings, got to find the right conditions. I kind of looked along here on the front side on my way back. I didn't see conditions I liked. I saw a little bit of green water, didn't see a lot of current. I just kind of breezed through it real quick and see if it looked interesting, and I didn't see what I was looking for, so I made my way out of there. But marlin fishing, I think, is a really good option if that's something you want to do this weekend. Give yourself some lures. If you've never tried it before, find yourself some cup face lures or some bullet lures, or even slant nose lures as well. Also, spreader bars, hello. That's what was really used to raise these fish back in the 90s, and that's kind of where they got popular on the West Coast. Ricky from West Coast Spreader Bar, who makes the ones that I sell, that's where he originally made spreader bars for, was in the 90s for raising striped marlin. So if you want to check them out, that's what we have for sale in our store. They're good quality bars. I like them. And you can use them for striped marlin fishing too. I would suggest taking the squid off though as a stinger and fish maybe a bullet lure, like a 9-inch size would probably be pretty good. Don't go any bigger than 9. When you get into 12s, the fish just kind of turn away from them. That's not really their size. It's more of like blue and black marlin territory when you start getting into really big lures. Remember, striped marlin, smaller fish, 100, maybe 200 pounds at the most. So they like that, 7 to 9-inch size lure. Skirted lure is what we're talking about here. If you get fishing in your spread and they're not biting your lures, pitch back a mackerel with a hook in it, preferably live. That's another way to entice a bite as well. So, or if you're really bored, you can slow troll 3 mackerel at a time, I say 3 in your spread. But again, slow troll, don't get them tangled. Takes a little bit of finesse. You're probably gonna want some outriggers to kind of keep them in line and spread out away from each other. But you do you. That's just some tips if you're interested in trying it out. Moving down south to San Clemente Island, there's still some yellows around. Has not been a killer bite. Mainly, this is early morning stuff. A lot of people are driving past the island when it comes to sport boats to come fish Tanner and Cortez Bank. There's kind of a lot more options when it comes to fishing out here at the moment compared to the island. This stuff has been a really early morning bite, pretty much overdone by 8:30 or 9 a.m. So if you're going to come out here and fish this stuff, make sure you're here in the dark before sunrise and you are ready to be poking around. Squid, sardine, both getting it done, but a little harder than the average day. Tanner Cortez Bank. This is where the majority of the sport boats are coming here. Day and a half trips and longer. There is bluefin, typically up to 80 pounds on both banks. Also yellowtail and occasional sea bass on Cortez as well. All biting just fine. Some stuff's coming on squid on dropper loops for the yellows. Bluefin, more of a daytime number 2 hook, 30 to, I say stick to 30 pound test. Should get it done. Maybe slim down a little bit if they're getting a little finicky. But number 2 hook and a nice lively sardine should get it done. Moving down south to Coronado Islands. This has been back on fire again. Really good fishing last couple of days. It has been crowded. Not a joke. This green water, let's see if we can get a better picture here. This green water pushed back again. So we got that clean current with some lively fish. Makes for some good fishing here. There's also been some yellowtail on this edge around La Jolla. So if you're also looking to stay north of the border, this might be a good option for you as well. This would be more of the find them under birds, chuck some iron at them, and catch them on the surface type situation here. Same thing kind of going on at the islands here. There's a lot of volume around, but sometimes it gets spread out with the boats, so you might just have to fish sardines on some long soaks, and hopefully they come through your drift here, and you can fish them all the way down to the rock pile. I do want to point out there is some green water starting to show up here along the coast. Tonight, looking at it, maybe went like a half mile, and there's a pretty distinct line, and that's kind of what I saw on Sunday too. So make sure if you want to come look for the stuff that might pop up, again, it's going to be really hard to stay on top of. It's going to be bouncing around a lot. You might run into a striped marlin. You never know this year. There's been a couple hooked in this area too. If you're looking to stay close, just make sure you stay on the edge of that green water there, and that's going to be your hot spot. And that's usually going to line up with the ledge here, which switch back to bottom detail here. You can kind of see where I'm talking about. Right in that deep water, it goes from about 300 feet to 2,000 feet. So right along that line, it's kind of where that green water is matching up. So it should be good. Got a little zone to work for you if you want to stay close. But below the border, not a lot happening. By the way, I must have checked like 30 patties, maybe even more, through this area. Not good signs of much, to be honest. Most not holding anything. I did see some holding quite a few amount of bait on the east end here, kind of by the 152 on the slide. A lot better signs of life here than anywhere else. This whole basin looked completely dead for the most part. I didn't see anything exciting at all. There wasn't even bait on patties whatsoever. So, yeah, you got a better chance up on this end if you're poking around for some patties, but unfortunately not looking good down here below the border. And we do have that cooler water coming in. I don't know if that is just tearing it up. I mean, it's like 68 degree water here. I don't know what the deal is, but that ain't happening. So we just got a thin piece of warm water here. We'll see what happens. There has been some bluefin the last couple of days caught by the guys out of Ensenada, right off the Bonded Bank here. So maybe we'll get some more fish move up. I don't know. It seems like we're getting a little late in the year for that. August. This is typically when things get stuck out here on the bank, kind of like what we've been seeing for the last couple of days. And it's usually when they close out their season is out here. So we'll see what October looks like, September and October. But yeah, I was hoping this water will stay a little bit warmer down here for a while, but we'll see what happens. That's it for this week, guys. Be safe. Have a great holiday weekend, and we'll catch you next week. Cheers, guys. Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and check out our website and online store at chasingprojects.com. And make sure you share the stoke.